Well, I said when we got to this level, the green belt level, we would do some more work on raises. We're now looking at the simple raises, which when you were a baby bridge player was 6 to 9 with 3+ card support for your partner's suit, 4 card support if it was a diamond suit, 5 card support if it was a club suit. And that was about it. Well, if you are a little bit more advanced, that range can widen a bit from a really good 4, which is an ace, and only an ace, to a really lousy 10, mostly quacks, no quick tricks, just junk. But you do have 3 card plus support for your partner's major, if it is a major. 4 cards for a diamond suit, 5 for a club suit. And remember that whenever partner opens a minor, in order to raise that minor in any way, you have to first check to see if you have 4 hearts or 4 spades. If you do not, then you're good to go. If you do have a 4 card major, you're obligated to show it. If you have a no trump hand, you're obligated to show that, as opposed to just raising your partner's minor. So be a little careful. Mostly when we start talking about these raises, we're talking about raises over a major suit that partner opened. And there are several things that people have over the years fiddled around with. Some are reasonable, some are unworkable. In today's environment, when they were first considered and promulgated, they were very workable because, quite frankly, bidding was terrible back then. But people have learned a lot since the 1980s, and one of the folks who you will see as we talk about this is a guy named Bergen, who first studied the law of total tricks. I'm not sure if he actually read it in French or if he read an English translation, but it started over in France, and he picked up on it and went, ooh, this is really good. And he told his partner Larry Cohen about it, and they liked it, and they started using it, and Marty started developing things based on it, and Larry ended up writing it up as the law of total tricks. And there are all sorts of corollaries to it that we talked about in various videos, and you'll see. But anyway, this is a long-winded introduction just to tell you that because people got, this all happened kind of in the early 1980s. So from about 1983-ish to about 1986, 87, 88, this was all kind of getting to the mainstream of duplicate bridge players. And it didn't really hit hard in tournament bridge until the 1990s. And by the 2000s, everybody knew about it. And people had developed ways to defend against it, one of which is to get in the way. In my opinion, the downside of these things, even though they're in my books, the downside of these things outweighs the upside in constructive raises and in advanced raises. It kind of is a toss-up in Bergen raises. Bergen raises really tries to do things with 4 card support. That's its emphasis. It also has a way to distinguish between 4 card simple raises and 3 card simple raises. But again, you know, why? Unless you're really trying to get in the way. When you have nothing, you have 0 to 4, those are when the Bergen raises really shine. When you have 4 card support and nothing, and you just jump right to 3, and it's no longer a limit raise, it's a get in the way preemptive raise. That's cool. And that's based on his law of total tricks work. But let's start out. I'm gonna defer Bergen raises to videos made by other people on them. They've done a lot of work on them, and they're much better than I can do. But I will show you constructive raises, and I will show you advanced raises, just so you kind of get a feel for what they look like. And having done so, I hope you will choose to discard them. You won't run into them very often, quite frankly, even at the partnership desk. It's rare that you will pick up a partner that says, "Ooh, do you play constructive raises?" They're more likely to ask if you play Bergen raises, and I don't recommend you do that with a pickup partner at the partnership desk. You can if you want to, but at your own risk. A way to get out of that is to say, "Oh, Bergen raises. Do you play original Bergen raises or inverted style?" And if they give you a quizzical look or go, "Huh?" then you can get out of it by saying, "Oh, let's just not do that. We haven't practiced it. We might mess it up." And you can hopefully not have Bergen raises on your pickup partner card. Anyway, let's start out with constructive raises. One more quick note first. Everything you're going to see from here on out in this video, plus everything you see on Bergen raises, pertain to majors. Majors. Minor suits at this level and beyond are normally handled by a little trick invented in the Kaplan Scheinwald bidding system back in the 70s that is called inverted minors. I mentioned those before in other videos. Inverted minors. I will include videos on those as well so that you can see everything. But whenever we're talking about Bergen raises, constructive raises, advanced simple raises called Pottier, these are all over majors only. Constructive raises are used by an unpassed responder in support of partners one of a major opening. They split the simple raise point range in half. The top half is easy. You simply raise immediately to 2 of opener's major. The bottom half is a 2-step process. You start with a forcing 1 no trump, so obviously you need to be playing forcing no trumps. And then in your second bid, your responder rebid, you show your support. In competition by your right-hand opponent, say it goes one of a major intervening bid or double by your right-hand opponent, you can go ahead and make your immediate raise with the top end. With the bottom end, you simply pass, and then if it's appropriate later, you can go ahead and support partner. Won't necessarily know if it's 3-card support or just competing or what it is, but he knows you started with a pass. So going to be a little bit wary. Now the downside of this is that it requires the forcing no trump. You can do it with a non-forcing or semi-forcing no trump. But if you try to do that, you're going to find yourself in a lot of 1 no trump contracts. So if you're comfortable with that, then you can try it with a semi-forcing or non-forcing no trump. But I would suggest initially that you stick to the forcing no trump, and if you don't play 1 no trump by an unpassed responder as absolutely forcing over a major, then I would suggest to you that you don't play or don't even attempt to play constructive raises. Quite frankly, I think they're kind of silly, because you're going to find yourself in a situation often where your right-hand opponent has taken some action other than pass over your partner's initial major suit opening bid. And when that occurs, you're going to be forced to pass if you've got the bad hand. In other words, you've got the low end of your support range. In that case, you may never be able to show partner that you have 3-card support for him, or 4-card support but a lousy, 5 or 6 or 7 support points. And that could make the difference in what your partner does in the competitive auction. So I don't really like constructive raises. You can fool with them if you want, but I would suggest that you put them in the history bin where they belong. We have a bare minimum simple raise. Some people would even pass with this hand, but I don't when I have an ace. And I'm initially going to force both east and west to pass. And we'll see in a moment what happens if they don't. But here, opener has no choice. It's a forcing no trump. Must do something. Some people would rebid spades. I don't like that at all. I temporize and rebid my 3-card suit. Don't like it, but I'm forced to do it. And now you trot out your 2 spade. Whoops. Let's undo that. Didn't take my pass. There we go. 2 spade bid. And there you have it. It should go all pass from here. Constructive, simple raise. Not concerned about whether we have 3 or 4 card support, but more concerned about whether we are at the top end, 8, 9, or a bad 10, or the bottom end, 5, 6, or 7. In this case, we count the ace as 5 because it's an ace. And we have, in this case, 4 card support, so I'm very comfortable doing that. I hope you are. Now let's undo a minute. And see what happens now. We're going to have East be very aggressive with a takeout double here. Remember, you are playing constructive raises, so what do you do in this case? Depends on how you handle doubles. I might be inclined to bid 3 spades here. It would look like this. 4 cards and a garbage hand. Just getting in the way, partner. What happens if we get a, well, we're not going to get an overcall on our right. It's either going to be double or pass. So let's go back and have East pass. And we made our forcing 1 no trump bid. One round. Okay. And it shows up in the little explanation box. Partner doesn't get to see it, but the opponents do. You just turned it off. Okay, now let's have our left-hand opponent be crazy and make the most ridiculous 2-diamond bid in town. Now what? North is, as we say, off the hook. No longer is required by the forcing no trump to be forced because the force is off. The force is not with North anymore. So now North can simply pass. It goes pass. And now you get to trot out your 2-spade bid. And that should tell the whole story to North. All right, let's look at another deal. Okay, who's first? North is first and is going to open that 1-spade hand again. And this time our right-hand opponent is going to pass. Your turn as South. 3-6. Are we on a minimum or a maximum? That'd be a minimum, so guess what? Again, we don't look in constructive raises at the length of the fit. In other words, we don't care if we have 3-card or 4-card support. We just make our forcing no trump bid. And lefty hasn't got a bid here no matter what he thinks. Let's shut that off. Now what does North do? Well, same problem. So North is going to bid 2 clubs. It's going to go, some Easts would make a double here. I think it's stupid, but some might. If the double is made, just at this point, you just ignore it and show your spades anyway. I think is probably best. Do what you were going to do. But we'll have them pass this time. And now just complete the thought that you're making a minimum raise. Now again, remember, in constructive raises, you're not concerned about whether you have 3-card or 4-card support, except that when you are evaluating your hand in terms of dummy points, it matters to you whether you have 3-card or 4-card support, because you can count your singletons, voids, or doubletons a little bit more if you have 4-card support than if you have 3-card support. But in terms of the structure of constructive raises, it doesn't matter. You're looking at whether you're on the minimum side or the maximum side. If you're on the minimum side, you start with the no trump bid, and then you show your support at your second opportunity. And it should just go, I'll pass from here. All right, let's see the next hand. Let's see, partner is up 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We don't have to open 1 no trump with that hand, so we're going to open 1 spadoodle again. And this time, East is going to be quiet and pass. We're not going to let East get real aggressive just yet. I know some East who would bid with that hand, but I think it's crazy. So just pass. Now, again, we're looking at constructive raises. We don't care whether we have 3-card or 4-card support, except in our evaluation of our dummy. 4, 1, or 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, minus 1 for the doubleton queen, plus 1 for the doubleton, maybe 2, so you're kind of on the cusp of a limit raise here. You've got some 9s and 10s. If you made a limit raise here, I wouldn't get terribly upset, but we're going to say that this is our bad 10 and call this a simple raise. But because we're at the top end, we can now go 1 spade, 2 spades, and be very comfortable doing that. It's almost a 1 spade, 3 spade bid. Really close. If partner were to invite game, we would accept in a shot. Okay. Next deal. Okay, who's the dealer? Oh, you are. I hope you would pass with that hand. And lefty is going to pass with that hand. Partner, let's see, ooh, likes his hand. It's about a 16 pointer as I recall. There's 10, 14, 15, yeah, pretty close. 16, yeah. Okay, 1. Got that stiff, so we're not opening a no trump. 1 spade. Right hand opponent, especially vulnerable, is going to pass. Now, are you at the top end or the bottom end? 4 and 3 are 7. Well, that seems like it's our 5 to 7, but we have a stiff heart here. So that's going to add a couple of points for distribution. And whether you add 2 or 3, you're no more than a bad 10 in support. So you are at the top end. 1 spade pass, 2 spades, making our constructive raise. In this case, partner knows that with this hand, my goodness, let's pass over here and look at north. 10 with 100 honors to the ace. 15. And then now that you have support, 16, 17, 18. Well, I think partner's just going to go right to four spades here. We're not going to mess around and doing any inviting. I think it's going to look like that. Whether you make it or not, you know, I mean, this is a 4 spade bid after you make your constructive 2 spade bid. Which is one of the reasons we like constructive raises. Because partner now doesn't have to fool around with some sort of help suit or short suit or long suit or binary game try. You can just go right to 4 spades, knowing that you're at the top end already. It's really good information to have. Let's look at the next deal. Okay, what are we doing here? Here we go. We're going to pass over there. Open 1 spade with this hand. Now our right hand opponent is going to trot out an overcall of 2 hearts. Is it aggressive? Yes. Well, not really. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I mean, it certainly meets all the requirements. 2 of the top 3 honors, the 2 top honors in a hard suit. So ace, king, 8 is certainly better than king, queen, 10, 5th. So sure, why not? Now it's your turn. Well, are you at the top end or the bottom end? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for the stiff in hearts. I'd call that a top end and bid 2 spades. And now partner can do whatever he chooses to do. I think partner, more likely than not, let's see, we're going to probably here we get a 3-heart call. Some might even bid 4 hearts over there on the left. Partner certainly is not way at the top. Got 3 hearts to the queen. That kind of devalues his hand. Partner's going to pass. Probably going to get a pass on our right. And now you just, I think, compete to 3 spades. this point. Even though you have 3, 4, 5, 6, the Queen and Jack are both in your partner's spade suit, so you know they're going to be useful, both of them. Your stiff heart is looking really good now. You know your whatever hearts are not accounted for in your opponent's hands are going to be in your partner's hand, and you're going to have roughing value over here. So I think that's certainly reasonable. And who knows? These are the kind of auctions that can get out of hand. But your 4-piece support in the spade suit to the Queen Jack really gives you a lot, and the stiff 10 of hearts gives you a lot of room. Had West bid 4 hearts, North would of course pass, and it would go past, and now your turn. You can actually bid 4 spades with that hand, and know that if they're making 4 hearts, you're not going to get hurt in 4 spades, and you're probably not going to get doubled in 4 spades. Might, probably not, because if they have a fit and you have a fit, you're safe. You know you're safe at the 3 level with a 5-4 fit. So competing, if you have to the 4 level with that fit is perfectly okay. But the key to this whole thing, since we're talking about constructive raises, is that over competition, you were at the top end once you reevaluated your hand in terms of dummy points. Even though you had only 6 high card points, you definitely met that 8 to 10 range when you counted your full dummy points with the stiff 10 of hearts. And now let's do another one. Okay, what are we doing here? We're passing with the east hand. We're going to open a heart, 1 heart, with partner's hand, the north hand. And now we are going to double with the east hand. Your handy dandy takeout double, wouldn't you? I would, all day. Vulnerable even, no problem. So now, as south over the double, what do you do? Well, if you're at the bottom end, with 4 card support, you can do something like this. Oh wait, it's a heart. So you can't make that 3 heart jump, right? And you're at 4, 5, 6, you're at the bottom end. Guess what? Just pass. See what happens. And West, 3, 4, 5, 6. Even though West has 4 card support, can't do much more than simply bid 1 spade. 2 spades would show good 8 or better. So West is going to bid 1 spade. 14. I think your partner might trot out a 2 diamond bid here. Complete the hand, especially not vulnerable against vulnerable. You're thinking 5, but a good 4 is certainly possible. And now, this is certainly worth 2 spades to the right, now that he's found a 4-4 fit in spades. Now it's your turn. Oh my goodness. I think this is the time to pass, because your majority of your points are in your opponent's suit, and you would love for them to be able to play 2 spades. Okay. And it's going to go pass. Now it's up to your partner. If your partner is normal, partner is probably going to not sell out here. Might. Partner sells out here, oh well. But partner may reopen with a double. It goes pass. Now you got a situation here. I'm not sure I'm beating. Okay, let's see. I would expect to not have any heart losers. Just looking at the south hand. My diamonds are not terribly good. I think I'm going to take the 3 heart bid here. And if they bid 3 spades, I'll double. This is a judgment kind of thing. It's a heat of battle kind of thing. It's a partnership kind of thing. It's a style kind of thing. This was what makes bridge interesting. Different people are going to do different things. I have a partner who would pass that 2 spade bid in a shot. But I also know that my defense is not the greatest in the world. So I would probably just take that 3 heart call and give myself a little bit of a cushion. And if they choose to compete to 3 spades, I will double. The late Dr. Jerry Pottier developed a bidding system in the early 1980s, written up in the late 1990s, where constructive raises were concerned with the size of the simple raise, low end or top end. Pottier simple raises are concerned with the degree of fit, 3 card or 4 card plus. Assuming no interference, you raise immediately from 1 to 2 with the 4 card fit. With the 3 card fit, you make the delayed raise by going through the forcing 1 no trump as you did with the constructive raises. So it doesn't matter whether you have 4 points as an ace, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or a bad 10. What matters is whether you have 4 card support or only 3 card support. And we'll see that as we look at examples. Now I'm going to hold off on talking about what to do in the Pottier raises when there's interference, because it's quite different and a bit extensive, but I think you'll find it refreshingly unusual. We're going to look at those same deals, this time using the Pottier simple raise method. First deal, got bare minimum support, just the ace, but we do have 4 card support for partner's major. So in this case, it's going to go 1 spade by opener, partner, pass on our right, and we now simply bid 2 spades. Simple raise, 4 card support. Partner can do whatever he chooses to do from here. Now, because our simple raise does not define our point range to within 2 or 3 points, partner might have to use some sort of game try to determine whether or not to proceed. In this case, partner's just going to pass 2 spades and hope he makes it. This time we have 3 card support, and in the Pottier simple raise methodology, you can't raise immediately with only 3 card support. So in this case, we're going to start with our handy dandy forcing no trump. There you go. And it goes pass. And partner makes that infamous two club temporizing bid, and this is part of one no trump forcing, by the way, guys. At least the way it was developed originally. We're going to get a pass on our right, and now we complete the raise. Now this can be done with ace small or king small or 3-card support. Can't do this with well, let's put it this way. If there were no other thing that you could do, you could do this with 2-card support, just taking the preference. But partner's going to play you for 3 or ace or king doubleton. And when the dummy comes down, you go, sorry about that. Okay, here once again we have 4-card support. This time we have a maximum, but we don't really care. Doesn't matter. In Pottier system, 4-card support is 4-card support as long as you're at the 5 to, in his case, 8 or a bad 9, because he played limit raises as 9 to 11. But most people can go up to a bad 10, but that entire range is possible. So here we go with 1 spade, and this time we still pass, and we can make that 2-spade raise immediately. Okay. Goes pass. And now partner can do whatever partner wants to do until 11, 12, 13. Might choose to pass, see what happens. Might make a game try, although I kind of doubt it. But you can see with the 4-card support, you can make the immediate raise. That's the point. Okay, this time you're the dealer, and as before, you're going to get 2 passes to opener who bids a spade, and this time we have 3-card support, and it goes, what are we doing over here with the east hand? That's just too light to do anything with, so that's going to be a pass. And we go 1 no trump. I'm not going to bother writing it in, but you know what, you have to explain it. And more likely than not, they're vulnerable. Probably pass. Opener now bids his clubs. Responder comes back in with the spade bid. Whoops. First we have to pass that hand. And there you go. Okay. That's the 3-card limit raise. I'm sorry, 3-card simple raise in the Pottier system. Going through the no trump, forcing. All right, this is the one we've been waiting for. And we're going to start with a pass, 1 spade, it's a little light, only 2 quick tricks, but it was partner's turn and to like this stiff. Okay. Now we have an overcall here of 2 hearts. Okay. It is now your turn. Two spades guarantees a simple raise with four card support. This hand starts out with a pass. Partner opens a heart. Right hand opponent makes a takeout double. Your turn. First of all, do you have four card support for partner's heart? No. You have only three card support, so you can't raise hearts directly over the double. You can't raise them to the 2 level, you can't raise them to the 3 level. The next thing you have to do is look at your quick tricks. Remember, this is the Pottier system, which is heavily quick trick influenced. If you have 0 quick tricks or 1.5 to 2 quick tricks, you pass. If you have 1/2 or 1 quick trick, you have to find a bid. And in this case, the only bid that makes, well, there are 2 bids that could make sense, one of which is to bid a spade. You kind of don't want to do that just in case your right-hand opponent does have 4 spades and they want to get in trouble later. So I think in this particular case, I would make my bid 2 hearts. This is the exception to having 4 card support. Okay. Now, if you had passed because you didn't have a 1/2 a quick trick, or because you had 1.5 to 2 quick tricks, you would have to alert the pass. And when they say, why the alert? Say, well, it's either no quick tricks or 1.5 to 2 quick tricks. I'll find out later. And they say, well, how do you know? When do you know? I say, well, when I know, I'll let you know. They don't like that either. But it's true. And it's perfectly okay, as long as you alert it and explain it when asked. Now, if you had 2.5 quick tricks, even if you had 4 card support, your first obligation in the Pottier system is a redouble. 2.5 quick tricks, it says we play in game or they play doubled. Then you have to find your home, of course, either that or let them play doubled. That's with 2.5 quick tricks. So the whole process over the double is first influenced by quick tricks, then by splinters. If you have one and you don't have 2.5 quick tricks, you make your splinter. Jacoby 2 no trump is on, but Truscott 2 no trump over a double is on. He called it Majors Only Jordan or Mojo. So all those things exist. But the thing to remember with the simple raise is that as long as you don't have 1.5 to 2 quick tricks, you just make the raise whether you have 3 card support or 4 card support. So it takes a little getting used to, but it's really vicious. Okay, let's see, we do one more of these. Yeah, I think we can do a, let's see. Oh, we don't even have an opening hand up here. Well, nope, that's a 1 note trump opening hand in Expert American, which is the follow-on to Advanced American, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But this is the reason that Jerry made his system work on 4 card immediate support, because in the follow-on Expert American part of the system, we broke it into 2 pieces. The first was 5 card majors, and you got used to kind of that. You got used to opening or raising with 4 card support in that system. And then in the more advanced part, the Expert American bidding system, it was 4 card majors and 14 to 16 won no trumps, and never with a 5-card major in that particular system. So you were, by the time you got there, you were ready for it. And you could also, were expected to be at the expert declarer level and defender level. So I would recommend to you folks that if you are looking at this and you are an expert and you want to look at his system, fine. I'll give you a link in the notes in the video, the info section. But if you are a true green belt, just coming up from yellow belt level, don't go anywhere near this system. It will confuse you no end, and you're not ready for it. So the next thing that's going to happen, just ignore this particular board. The next thing that's going to happen is that we're going to stop this video, and I'm going to put in a couple of videos that you need to see. One is going to be on Bergen raises. I might have more than one video on Bergen raises, in fact. And then everything we've been discussing in this video deals with majors. A whole different set of circumstances happens when a minor suit is opened, just like it did before, only more so. Very structured, and most players who play 2/1, which is most people at the open level in who are not playing some other system like Precision, Meckwell, Akal, or something really off the wall. But at Flight A, most people are playing, if you're playing an American system, are playing 2/1 game force. Some with forcing no trumps, some with semi-forcing no trumps. But they pretty much all play inverted minors at that level. So we're going to have something on inverted minors in there too. And that will kind of help you along. Might have a little bit more on limit raises, some things you can do. But once you get through, I don't necessarily recommend Bergen raises, but you'll kind of see elements of both constructive raises and this Pottier method in the Bergen raises. By the way, when you study Bergen raises, I'm not sure, I haven't looked at the video that I'm going to put in there lately, but most things that you read or look at on Bergen raises are concentrating on the 3-level jumps. And they all are 4-card support kind of things. If you have 3-card support in a simple raise and you're playing Bergen raises, just go 1-2 like you used to do when you were a rookie. That part doesn't change. If you have 3-card support, it goes 1 spade, 2 spades, duh. But they never bothered to put that in there because they figure you'll work that out. Well, I'm too dumb to work things like that out. I need to study on them. So I thought I'd just let you know that there is a way to get there with 3-card support using Bergen raises. Or you can do what Jerry did and go through 1 no trump. But I want to just tell you that the biggest problem with constructed raises, Jerry's raises, the Pottier method, or Bergen raises, is that all this stuff was developed in the early 1980s before people started really learning about the law of total tricks and its impact on immediate bids and on jamming auctions. And just like I don't worry a lot about game tries, because you can never get to make them because the opponents always are in the auction. The only game try you get to make is a maximal game try, because you just don't get, it doesn't go one spade pass, two spades pass, three clubs game try, by then the opponents are already well into your auction, almost always. Usually, either you never get to open the bidding when you've got the right hand for all this stuff, because the opponents have opened ahead of you or preempted ahead of you, or if you do open, your left-hand opponent, your responder's right-hand opponent, gets in the auction, gets in the way of your handy-dandy simple raise methods, which is why we concentrate so much on what to do when they get in the way. But there's almost always intrusion. So these methods, while wonderful in theory, in practice, unless you really work with what to do when the opponents get frisky and get in your way, either between opener and responder or after responder has made a call, when left-hand opponent, opener's right-hand opponent bids in the sandwich seat all of a sudden, where support doubles come into play. You just need to work on that, because the old days when this stuff was developed of being left alone, well, it's their hand, maybe it'll be our hand next time. It doesn't work that way anymore. People have gotten much more aggressive. So I just thought I'd leave you with that, and just going to end here with a little picture of the two systems. We put it together as a bundle, but again, do not buy Advanced American or Expert American bidding system bundle unless you're an expert, please. It will foul you up completely. If you do order these, understand that it's going to come down to you as a PDF, which you can then read online or print out as you see fit. It doesn't come as a book, a hard copy.